for tuning in. So today I'm gonna briefly just talk about Autotune Pro. It was released earlier today, and I'm extremely pumped about it. I've been following the series since about five, actually. Ironically, um, one of the features that they added was the classic version, which brings it back to the algorithm of the five, which is an algorithm that produced that iconic T-Pain sound that we all love so much. Now, the reason why it's changed over time is because they've been trying to get more of the natural correction, um, rather than having the emphasis of that jumping sound. So what they did is they brought that back because people have been asking guitarists to bring it back because they're missing the sound. So you just have that simple classic button, your retune speed, your humanize, your natural vibrato. You don't have the flex tune on the classic though. So whatever features are newer after five, they just take it away to get it as close to that algorithm as possible. So you could also switch back to the more current version, which will give you a retune speed and your flex tune, which kind of gives you that bridge between the gap and the notes, so it doesn't correct it as soon, to make it more realistic. So this is more of the, I guess you could say, the singer's approach. So the same thing. I mean, all the parameters are the same. It just looks a little different. So you have your input types, your key, your scale, you toggle the views here, um, your format, all your stuff basically. The thing is they also added an ARA integration with Studio One, so it's very simple to add your MIDI controller and use those. You have your edits there. You could also make like key commands and stuff for your MIDI controller. So if you wanted to add a faster attack speed or whatever the case is, or a bypass on certain notes, you can do that in the settings. Um, as for the settings, there's a couple of things that you could add. Like certain things if you need to show your bars and beats or whatever the case is. So they do have the graph mode, um, which is a lot cleaner. Before, in previous versions, they had everything down here. It was kind of like eyesores. It just gave you anxiety when you opened it. But here, they made it more simple, more sleek, more user friendly. Um, they also made like your zoom states down here, so you can edit these into the type of zoom that you like. So, for instance, we'll do say a quick little. Uh, I don't know. Like say you can have your different zoom settings, which they're all pretty cool, but you can do it according to your workflow. Another cool thing that I liked was your settings. If you go into your preferences, I changed these to my workflow. I felt like these would be best suited for me. So, so you have your draw notes, your arrows. Basically, your hand scroll and your arrow is kind of like your navigation with Melodyne, for those of you who are familiar with it. And over here, you have your width and your height, which is a cool thing that they added in here. I know the other Autotune had it, but it didn't look as nice. So I usually put 1800 and 900. That seems to work for my screen. Um, and boom, it gives you a nice big picture, and you're able to maneuver. If you wanted to take this off too, you can. You can just click that. Um, oh, and then you have, your regular tools. You have, you're drawing your curves, or you're drawing your lines, or scissors, zooming. Then you have, if you wanted to highlight, a certain part, or if you wanted to highlight a phrase, or whatever the case is. But for the most part, I mean, it's very similar to the older Autotune. It's just a lot more. I, I believe it's gonna speed up your workflow. Um, Also, another thing that they added was, let me pull this up. The automatic key detection, which is a big thing. But they added it in the form of an actual plugin itself. So if you play a clip, we'll play this clip. Oh, it automatically pulls the key of the song, and then you can send it to Autotune, and it'll send that key directly to it. Or you can use file, you can import something or whatever the case is, or you could snap it to a key that you wanted, and it sends it directly there. But that's about it. I mean, I know it wasn't nothing too fancy or anything like that. I just kind of wanted to, speak about Autotune because I know it just came out, and there's rarely not too much out about it right now. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you took something from it.